Wonder what frame this is, what material this is. It's like some sort of a acetate. Let's see this one. Looks like cellulose nitrate. Or is it CP? One can never tell. So confusing. Oops. What is this? Optyl or carbon fiber? So difficult to really tell what material is what. Could be nylon. Who knows? Even these are so old. But what are they? So confusing, so confusing. How do we recognize these materials? We'll know in a bit.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hello and welcome to AJ Optical Laboratories. You're watching part 1 of spectral frame materials. I hope today through this video you will have a better understanding and a better knowledge of your frame materials. It can be a very confusing section for a lot of lab technicians and dispensing opticians. Knowing what frames you are dealing with, the material, and how to work with it, so you don't do any unnecessary mess-ups while working with the particular frames. So today we're going to go through various frames here. As you can see behind me, I've got a range of plastic frames of the various materials, which will go through various aspects for the purpose of recognition. So what we're going to look at is its main characteristic, its properties for adjustment and lens fitting, and glazing and edging as well. Right, so before we go through this lot, there is one particular frame which you may or may have not seen. Well, I haven't, because it has been stopped by manufacturers, been discontinued many years ago, even before I was born. So I never got the privilege of working with that frame or having it in my midst. So which frame is that? What frame material is that? It is one of the acetate frames, and it's the one and only cellulose nitrate, which has been discontinued in the early 1970s due to certain aspects of the material. Purely its flammable properties, which you'll see in a little visual which I have for you to see what happens with cellulose nitrate when it comes into contact with heat. And have a look at this visual, which will really tell you why it's been discontinued. Yeah. Alright, so take note what happens to cellulose nitrate when it comes into intense heat, in contact with intense heat. Look at that flames, look at that flames. It just bursts into flames. Look how flammable is cellulose nitrate. I do feel sorry for whoever is wearing that pair of spectacles. Right, look at the sparking. Okay, warm, hot air gets blown onto the frame and it just ignites sparks. Okay. This demonstrating to you the flammable properties of cellulose nitrate. Right, so now you can see why you won't see cellulose nitrate today, because of that. And yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to be wearing a frame which ends up bursting out into flames. Yeah, burn your brains out after that. Okay, so let's look at what we have, okay, which is available today. Right, so the first one over here, okay, if I look at this nice colorful frame, got a two-tone effect. Okay, so immediately by looking at it, I can tell you that this is cellulose acetate. Okay, and what is the reason why I can tell you that is that cellulose acetate, if you look at those frames, they come in many different forms and great variety of colors, from totally transparent to totally opaque frames, and also full color frames. Okay, like for example, like here's another like a 2-3 tone type of frame. Okay, here's another 2-tone showing. And here's a transparent. Okay, so yeah, so those when you look at those frames, it should tell you it's cellulose acetate, and how they get it is from sheets that are laminated on top of one another. Okay, and to produce that two-tone effect, which increase fashionability, and that's why you see majority frames today in the industry is made of cellulose acetate. They come in volumes and of production, right? And they are very nice frames to wear and to work with. In terms of adjustments, okay, they are very soft when heated. Okay, we mean they are thermoplastic. All right, they can convert back to its original shape as well if it in contact with a lot of heat. Okay, it's a highly quality material, easy to work with, and adjusting temperature is 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. In today's frame heaters, you can adjust them according to if they have those temperature settings, so you don't overheat it. Overheat to the required temperature. Okay. Also, you'll find they have the reinforcement. Okay, the full length wire in the temples, and that allows for adjustments. So once they are heated and bent, they will to retain its shape as well. Okay, and cellulose acetate, they will not burn, but they'll blister if it's overheated. Okay. Also, a thing with acetate frames. Okay, they are brittle when they are cold, so the cracks may appear. They can crack if you just bend it without heating. And from old age, you will find also the acetate frames, they tend to form a white film along the contact areas on the nose and the sides of the head. Okay, so that's basically in that area and by the bridge of the frame. Okay, and that's due to long-term wear from perspiration, the acidity in your skin can cause that the frame to become opaque, give that white film on the contact areas. Then also the in terms of glazing, you're looking at heat glaze. Okay, remember you cannot cold glaze a acetate frame; they will plastic will crack. So you have to heat it up with a frame heater or a use of a bead bath. You heats up to required temperature. And then in terms of lens size, the acetate frames, you can cut them either on size, a little bit larger or bigger, because if they are cut a bit bigger, you can stretch an acetate frame, the cellulose acetate. And if it's slightly too small, not too small though, because you don't want to change anything on the frame itself, because you can shrink it slightly just to accommodate the lens size. So slightly smaller would be fine, because you can shrink it. So that's basically acetate, cellulose acetate for you. So if we go over to the next one here, okay, so this is here is also a row of the same family, same type. Okay, so if you look at this frame here, okay, if I look at this frame, basically just by looking at it, this is cellulose propionate, which is in short CP, and for the cellulose acetate, short form would be CA. Okay, so how would I identify this? They are thinner than the cellulose acetate frames. Okay, due to the molds, they have a desired meniscus shape. Okay, and they hold the shape better than the cellulose acetate. It's lighter in weight than acetate frames of the same volume, except a high polish. Okay, so that these frames are also colorless initially, and then they are dyed at a later stage. They cannot be undergo the lamination phase. Okay. Right, so they are also used in combination frames like these here. Okay, so we'll find the metal and plastic. Alright. Okay, so they are hyperallergenic. Okay. Acetate frames, they are thermoplastic. More plasticizers are required in the production than CA, therefore they are more susceptible to heat. They react badly to heat. If it's overheated, they can deform. Okay, adjustment temperature is between 60 to 80 degrees Celsius, and they cannot be shrunk to accommodate any small lenses. Okay, so they also can be heat glazed, but lenses, in terms of glazing, they must be on size. If larger lenses are cut larger, then they need to be re-etched in the machine to the required size, so they can fit into these frames comfortably. Okay, that's cellulose propionate for you. Right, so let's see, where do we go next? Next, we're going to look at this one here. Okay, so if I look at this frame, this looks like this is one of the polyamides. Okay, Polyflex or SPX. SPX is the more commonly known name for the frame. Okay, we'll find it a lot in the silhouette brands. Okay, so what are the main cases? Now I want to tell you that this is a SPX frame. Okay, they're also very light in weight, made of thinner, made thinner than propionate. You can see by the rims are nice and thin. Okay, they have a very hard surface. If you feel the feeling of the frame, okay, it's difficult to scratch. They have nylon properties. Okay, so they're part of the nylon family. Very resistant to solvents like methylated spirits or acetone, I would say. They retain its polished appearance longer than your CP or CA. Okay, this is the old frame, but it still has a bit of a shine to it. They are durable and and also quite adjustable. They come in a full range of colors as well. That's what makes it also fashionable. And so they come in your translucent and opaque colors. Okay, but your heat application must be done very carefully. Okay, although they are strong, they retain the shape and durable. And if you look at the adjustment and lens fitting properties, okay, being strong, they also elastic. It has elasticity, which makes it flexible, which cannot be adjusted with conventional heaters. Now SPX, one thing with SPX, if you heat them with your frame heater and it's above 80 degrees Celsius, they will shrink. Okay, and that's not something you'd want to happen while glazing lenses. They can be repeated to high heat if it's exposed. Material becomes brittle, resulting in temple cracking. They also have a reinforcement sides which allows them to retain cold adjustments. You will see it in this particular one. This is kind of dark temple, so you don't see the reinforcement side, but you'll see it in this particular one here, which is also SPX. Okay, so that allows for cold adjustments. Okay, and quite a few of the SPX frames, I forgot to mention, they also have the SPX on the temple, written on the temple. So that's a good way for identification as well. Okay, so that covers the adjustment part. In terms of glazing, you're looking at they are cold glazed, okay, due to the fact of it can shrink if it's overheated, and they should be cut on size as well. Okay, so that's SPX. Okay, so if I look at this one over here, okay, let's show you the frame. Okay, if you look at the frame, the features of the frame, the titanium is carbon fiber. Okay, so how did I come to that fact? Is carbon fiber, the main characteristics, they come in dark colors, okay, in black, grey, the navy blue, brown and maroon. So you have got the maroon, brown and blue, navy blue. Okay, this is the three colors I have over here. Okay, so it's the black and the grey as well. Okay, and the frame fronts are generally made of carbon fiber. Okay, temples are made of metal to accommodate some easier form of adjustment. Okay, they're also very light in weight, very strong, good shape retention. Okay, because of its strength, it allows manufacturers to manufacture them with thinner rims. Okay, and just bear in mind, although they are strong, drop them, say goodbye. Okay, because they are brittle when they are dropped. So you wouldn't want to end up with a broken carbon fiber frame. So handle with care, be careful. Okay, so adjustments and lens fitting properties. Okay, they are impervious to heat. So try heating up the front, you can do nothing to it. Okay, they will not bubble nor burn in the bead bath. Okay, so just shows that the frame front can take anything, take on that heat, right? So it does not take heat well. So in terms of adjustment, so the only way to do some form of adjustment is by the metal sides, okay, the temples, which allows you to do your tempocal, do some pantoscopic angle on the frame. Okay, that pantoscopic angle there. So that's basically it. So there's nothing much you can do in terms of adjustment. It's very limited. Okay, and in terms of glazing, these are cold glazed. Okay, as they have the closing block. All right, important thing of the carbon fiber. They have a closing block as well. Okay, which houses the hinge that opens up to insert your lenses. Okay, so therefore cold glaze, and lens must be cut on size as well in terms of your edging. Alright, so that's carbon fiber. Alright, so that's that. So if I now look at the next one, let's see, let's start that one. Okay, so if I look at this frame here, immediately we look at the structure of it, the way it looks, and the features of the frame. Looking at the hinges, it tells me this is nylon. Alright, so nylon, it comes with sometimes comes with the hinges made of nylon as well, like this particular one over there. So you can see here the hinges, right? Poor appearance, dull, does not have any brilliance of high quality plastics like the polyamide, acetate, or an Optyl. Okay, non-attractive as carbon fiber. They limited in production. Sunglasses like a Ray-Ban. You'll find some Ray-Ban sunglasses also with the plastic hinges and those nylon, and safety eyewear as well. Like this particular one, you can see how it's structured. It's got the side shields, so it's for safety purposes, and yeah, so, and they are usually made of nylon. Okay, in terms of adjusting and lens properties, the lens fitting. Okay, these are difficult to adjust because they are very strong and flexible, but for protective eyewear and sunglasses. Okay, these are basically worn on very short periods of time, so it's often not adjusted. So extremely difficult to adjust if you do attempt to adjust it and to fit lenses into these type of frames, because it's even to get a proper fit, it's on the patient, it's not easy. Okay, so they need to be heated very strongly in order to have some form of shape change. Okay, frame must be held in the required position, okay, while it's cooling, so you can stay in that shape, in that to take on the new shape. Okay, so some burning thumbs to you guys, and with time, and they just revert to the old shape again. So it's not really a good material to have if it's something that you want to wear every day. Okay. In terms of glazing, okay, they got to be heat glazed, and frames need to be heated strongly. And lenses to be fitted on size. Large lenses could result in breakage of the frame or the lenses. Okay, as you cannot string or stretch a frame. Yeah, so just to show you some other nylons before we go to the next one. Okay, these also have plastic hinges here. Okay, and there's some sunglass here. Okay, also plastic hinges. Right. Okay, so that concludes nylon, and we are coming now to the last material, and this is okay. So it's these in front over here. If I look at this one here in particular, right, you can see it's fairly old frame, good shine still to it. All right. Yeah, if I look at the detail of this frame, it tells me that this is Optyl. So what about it gives me the fact that it's Optyl. So if you look at the characteristics of Optyl, they are thermoplastic elastic material. They can be shaped after heating but retain its original shape. Of the original shape. It has no plasticizers, so it can have a very long lifespan, and also retain its color and shine, as you can see in this particular one. And even look at this very old frame, but look how beautiful it shines. Couldn't say it's an old frame. Beautiful, eh? So the main recognition of Optyl, you're looking at it as no. If you look at the temple, for example, you'll see what's missing. There's no reinforced full-length wire, so it means no coring. The other thing inside of the temple, the description, you'll see there's a logo, the Optyl logo, and below it tells you actually that it's Optyl. So it makes it even easy for the lab technician or dispensing optician to know what frame they're working with, so they know how to deal with that particular frame. And also, if you look at the temple, you see it just has a small piece of metal there. Alright, just a small little metal, and that's called what we call the LMC. It's a light coated metal. Okay, its main function, it attaches itself to a hinge on the temple itself in order to be fitted to the frame front to operate the way it should. And yeah, so that's the only metal you'll find in the temple. So no coring, right? You'll find they are available in a variety of colors and styles, and they have a very high and attractive luster, and they are more resistant to body acid. So you can give this to people that have sensitive skin, so which makes it hypoallergenic as well. Okay, and if you feel the weight of Optyl, it's light in weight, 30% lighter than your traditional acetates. They create comfort eyewear, very comfortable to wear, and yeah, and you'll find you'll get some of them where they're quite fashionable as well. Okay, so in terms of its adjustment and properties, they require a considerable amount of heat. Heat it until it's very soft before adjusting. If you try to adjust it without heating, they will break. Okay, and heat the frame until soft before inserting lenses as well, because underheating may result in the frame breaking. Right, so Heat should be also be carefully controlled, with these type of frames. So you only warm up the area which requires adjustment. So if you're doing the temple curl, only do apply heat on that area. If heat come into contact with another part of the frame which already been adjusted, that may result in that part which has already been adjusted going back to the original shape because of the memory Optyl has. So be careful when you're applying heat. Only do the area which requires adjusting. Okay, and in terms of glazing, heat glaze only, as you cannot insert lenses or do anything if while the heat system in cold state, being quite brittle. So you're looking at definite breakage if you don't apply any heat. Lenses, in terms of edging, needs to be on size. Optyl can stretch to accommodate slightly larger lenses, but care must be taken as they can break at a later stage. So the best thing to do, first time, do it right, do it on size. Right. So that basically concludes Optyl and our frame materials. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something today to make things easier for you in terms of handling your frames and knowing how to go about working with your frames. So knowing your materials will cost you nothing in the end of the day. It will save you a lot of money if you do know your frame materials. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching, and hope you look out for my next video for part 2 on spectacle frame materials, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.